Welcome back, good people, to week 2 of the Robinhood 100K Challenge, which is the OG 3K challenge, but with a starting value adjusted for inflation. In week 1, I started off with a $14 loss on a SPY FD, but quickly swapped to covered calls on SPY and Alphabet and banked $304 premium for a total gain of $290. I wanted to get assigned on my SPY covered call and to sell shares at $692, but the market dipped right at the end of the day, finishing just below my $692 strike. Wanting assignment is pretty rare for covered call traders, but I should have just sold shares on Friday instead of selling an in-the-money covered call hoping to get assigned. Nonetheless, we got to carry on. Let's flip open the market here on Tuesday, January 20th. Stocks are tanking and taking an absolute beating, so missing my assignment on Friday by a few cents is costing me big time. Or as Cheeto would say, bigly. SPY is down at 682 as the whole trade war thing and Greenland thing are starting to hit up again. Everybody is all up in the air about this whole Greenland thing, but I can tell you right now that this is not worth being concerned over because there's only 3 ways this can go. And the first is that the US buys Greenland. And if the US does buy Greenland, then stocks will go up because that's very bullish that the United States just bought Greenland. We'd have access to Greenland. It would become part of our map. That is bullish. Alternatively, the US does not buy Greenland. US does not buy. And if that happens, then stocks will go up because that would mean returning to the status quo. And the status quo is that stocks only go up. Now there's a third option here, and this is the one I think is actually going to happen, is that we're going to get some kind of special status, which is not really going to be that special, but we're going to pretend it is. Special status. This is going to be something where the US doesn't outright own Greenland, but we'll have access to the bases in here a little bit more so than we do now, or we can start mining some minerals. I don't think this is something that we can't do right now. I think we could do that whenever we want to. We already have bases in Greenland. And what's Denmark going to do? Say, no, you can't put missile defense up here. Of course they would allow us to do that. So I think we're going to try to spin it as getting some kind of special status, even though it's not really going to be any different than number 2, just with extra spice. So if this does happen, and I think it's what will happen, then stocks will still go up because that will be viewed as both buying and not buying Greenland, which are both already bullish scenarios. And now we have just doubled down. Stocks are just going to go up. So as you can see, if you're a bear, there's really not much hope here for you. Bears will be BTFO again. There's just nothing here. I can't see this playing out in such a way that things are not bullish. My 100K challenge count is still generally okay since my Google position is still up. But cope aside, I'm taking it to the teeth today. Now VIX is at 20. Market volatility is up, so options are priced high. Since I don't have the cash to sell puts, I'll enter an iron condor. This is a neutral position that profits when market volatility subsides and options are priced less richly. I'll flip to expiration at the end of the week, so January 23rd, and I'll first open my call wing. So I will sell a 16 delta call at the $695 strike for $63 in premium. And since I have little cash, I have to buy the long wing pretty tight. So I'll go just 2 strikes away and give back $37 of premium to buy the $697 strike. So far, I have a call credit spread offering me $23 premium on $200 of collateral. Now I'll do the same thing on the put wing. So I'll scroll down to the 16 delta put and sell the 667 strike for $122. Then I will give back $102 premium to buy the 665 strike, netting me $19 or $20 in premium. In total, my Iron Condor offers me about $42 on $200 of collateral. Normally, I'd trade with more distant expirations, which would give me some more premium for the collateral and also let me widen out those strikes, but I want this position to expire within the next 2 days. So I'll enter a limit sell at $45 and cross my fingers for a fill. Filling a 4-leg position is never a sure thing, but I'm well within the bid-ask spread, so hopefully it'll lock in. I'll let the market finish freaking out and I'll come back tomorrow. Rolling right into Wednesday, I am ashamed to say that I did not get a fill on that Iron Condor, which is unfortunate because I'd be up enough for an order of crab rangoon if I had. But missed opportunities for Chinese appetizers aside, the market is recovering really nicely, and I am so glad I wasn't shaken out yesterday because like I said, stocks only go up. And now, faced with a recovering market, I have to decide what to do now. In this moment, I must reflect on the words of Sun Tzu, who famously said, "The hardest thing to do in the market is to do nothing when nothing is the right thing to do." And I have to hand it to him. Sun Tzu is absolutely right. Holding shares right now is the right thing to do. And until SPY gets into those upper 680s, maybe 690, I see no reason to sell covered calls. And Google, or Alphabet, is already almost fully recovered, and it seems like it wants to go higher. In my main Robinhood account, where I have more liquidity, I sold an in-the-money cash secured put on Alphabet yesterday, and today's rocket ship puts me up a few $100s. And I wish I could have done the same thing in the 100K challenge account, but I am already fully invested and don't have much cash left. So I'll follow Sun Tzu's words for today and just ride this recovery. What I'll do instead is add to my watch list, because I want to start adding positions on some of these stocks. The first one is already typed in here. You can see Booz Allen Hamilton, ticker BAH. I used to work for Booz Allen Hamilton after I moved to DC. The stock's gotten beaten down pretty badly over the past year, but I think the market is just not appreciating what Booz Allen Hamilton is and where it's going to fill its niche as the conflicts around the world continue to expand. Booz Allen Hamilton is going to continue winning contracts. I think this one is worth adding to the watch list. So let's add to dank candidates. The next one I want to add is Rivian. Now, I know Rivian does not sound like a stock that you want to hold positions on. It's kind of gotten beaten down. It's not looking good. It loses money when it sells vehicles. How can you buy shares of a car company that loses money when it sells vehicles? Well, it's releasing some new lines in the next few months in the summer, I think. We've got about 6 months left. Analysts are pretty optimistic about it. I went to the Rivian dealership in the mall, at Tyson's Corner, and I like the vehicles. I think they look good. I'm obviously not going to be taking a huge position here, but I think with these new line of vehicles that are coming out in the summer, this thing could turn around. We'll see some recovery in stock price. I think it's going to be a long time, if ever, before it starts hitting those 2021 bubble prices. But grabbing a few leaps at a lower price, I don't think is so bad. Next one is Duolingo. I used Duolingo to learn Italian. I loved the product. I thought it was fantastic. Now that said, Duolingo has also gotten beaten down to the point where the stock price has lost all of its gains since mid-2023. So the market has loved this thing and now hated it because everybody thinks that ChatGPT or some other unspecified chatbot is going to be teaching people foreign languages instead of Duolingo. I loved Duolingo when I used it, and if I was going to move overseas and I needed to learn a new language, the very first thing I would do is go on Duolingo and buy the premium membership so I can just keep learning. ChatGPT is not going to teach you the basics. I found it to be fantastic when I wanted to review my Italian for more advanced stuff. I can already speak Italian pretty well. But you are not going to learn a brand new language with ChatGPT or any other unspecified chatbot out there. So just like Booz Allen and Rivian, I think the market is underestimating this one. So I'm going to add it to my watch list and see what I decide to do when I get some more liquidity. And the final one is Adobe. I don't really know much about this one. Everybody seems to be raving over how it's undervalued. I don't really know anything about software, to be honest. And the stock does not look that great, but we're down to 2022 lows. So this has been a bear market for this one. And I think it's probably worth picking up here, maybe, but I want to learn more about this one before I decide anything. I think between those ones that I just mentioned, I think Booz Allen Hamilton is going to be on the top of my watch list, and then Duolingo, Rivian, and Adobe would follow. With those added, I'm just going to chill for now, but I also want to address someone's comment from the last video. Gooby Wooby Goo says, "This is proof that the only way to get rich is to already be rich." This is simply not true, and I'm living proof of it with the Freeloader Challenge series. This $100,000 I used to fund this challenge is some of the money I made from freeloading after I already set aside the first $100,000 I made during that challenge. So if you're looking at my Robinhood portfolio thinking this is out of reach for you, don't watch stock trading videos. Watch the Freeloader Challenge, and you can see why. If you don't clear 5 figures per month, it's because you weren't trying. As of January 21st, I'm at $10,081 in freeloading gains for the month. So Gooby Wooby and other doomers, do the Freeloader Challenge, and you will rise up. Now that I've said my piece, I'll check back in tomorrow because I'm about to take my family to lunch at Golden Corral. I'm checking back in again at about 3:30 on Wednesday, and tacos are just falling from the sky. We got word that the United States is not going to attack Greenland, is not going to impose strict tariffs on February 1st, And it looks like we're shaping up to just have some kind of special access to Greenland. We're not actually going to buy the thing. I mean, that's still up in the air, but it looks like it's going that way. So stocks are just taking off again. And I'm so glad I listened to Sun Tzu. He said, don't freak out. I didn't freak out. And now I'm being rewarded by getting some green back on. So we're up to about 102,000 now. But I still feel like I'm not getting a whole lot out of this. You know, I have a $100,000 portfolio, and I'm getting excited about a $2,000 gain over a week and a half. You know, I'm not getting there. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this opportunity while stocks are bouncing to set my sell on SPY. I'm going to sell a covered call that's expiring tomorrow. So I think it may get hit. So let's check the SPY options chain. Wow, you can sell all the way at about 950. That's crazy. All right, so let's sell a covered call expiring tomorrow. Now let's see. If I get filled and I can sell at 690, I'll be happy. I'd be happy with that close. But let's just give myself a little bit more room. 692 is where I was willing to sell it last week. I think I'm going to go one more step down. I'll sell at 691. I'd be satisfied with that. Let's make sure the volume is good enough. Yeah, we got plenty of volume. We got plenty of volatility here. So let's sell the 16 delta. So I'll put in for $43. And I hope I get assigned on this one because I would be perfectly happy to get out of this position. We'll lock that one in. Could be a $43 gain there, or a lot more on the shares as well. We'll see what happens. And do I want to sell a covered call on Alphabet? I mean, the tax hit alone is going to hurt. The stock is way up, over $15,000 on it. So, I don't know. Let's just explore the options chain. You know, let's see if I want to sell maybe a very far out of the money covered call, expiring on the 23rd. So, would I be willing to sell this at $10 higher? I think I would. I think I'd be willing to sell this at $335. You know, I'd be cool letting SPY go. I'm not sure as much about Alphabet. But we got to move on eventually. You know, we got to do something a little bit more aggressive than just trading these options. So hopefully I can get a fill here. Yep, there we go. So we're filled. All right, I'm in for about $150 worth of short options that are expiring between tomorrow and the day after. And if I get assigned on both of these, I'm good. I've got a watch list of stocks that I want to start trading. And I think BenSound and Duolingo would make the top of the list. The other ones, a little less so. We're getting in on the end of the day here on Thursday the 22nd. SPY was starting to flirt at one point with my 691 strike, but never really pierced it. So this is going to be a almost 100% gain here. I'm going to take, it's only 41 bucks though, that's the thing. So I'm going to close this one out now, and I'm going to sell a new one that expires tomorrow. So let's buy to close this one. I'll give somebody $2 to take it off my hands. And then I'll sell one that's expiring tomorrow. And I really need to get assigned here. So let me sell something pretty close to the money. I'll just go one strike out of the money. I'll sell the 50. So either way, I'm walking out with either $190 in gain, or hopefully I'll get assigned, wrap this up, and I can move on to some more aggressive stuff because I'm getting a little bored of just trading SPY options. You can see my watch list here. Duolingo is doing pretty good. I think we might have already hit the bottom on Duolingo in those upper 140s. So I want to pick up a few shares here. I've got a little bit of cash right now. I think I might as well just grab a share or two, but I'd really like to sell some options instead. But just out of FOMO specifically, I'm going to buy one share right now. That way I can remove it from my watch list too. So for now, we're locking in a, look like $47 gain. So we'll let this one ride. We'll check back in tomorrow to close out the week. Hopefully I'll be doing so with an assignment. Chads and Chaddises, welcome back. It's about 10 a.m. on Friday the 23rd. SPY is having a pretty good move here. It's well above my strike, which is good. That's what I wanted. I want to get assigned today. So hopefully that will happen, and SPY will stay above at 688 so I can just end this position, take my gains, and move on to something more aggressive. I definitely want 100 shares of Booz Allen Hamilton, but I also want shares of Duolingo because I think this thing bottomed in those upper 140s, and now I think it's starting to make its move back up. People are waking up to this. You know, we've seen a pretty significant drop over the past year. You know, it went up to $540. Now it's way down on this idea that AI is just going to crush the whole thing. I don't believe that's true. So I have to make a choice. I can either buy shares outright or I can trade options. And options are priced pretty richly because this is a high volatility stock. I do have the choice. You know, I could go out about 7 months here and enter a PMCC, a poor man's covered call. That means buying a long-term call, something like maybe the 150, and then I can sell options that are expiring in the near future. So I would go maybe 1 month out and then sell out of the money options. So if I were to choose something like, say, the 180 strike, now I'm buying the 150 call expiring in 7 months, and then selling the 180 call that's expiring next month. So what this does is give me a very expensive position where I'm still paying almost $4,000 to enter. And I will add that this is not a properly designed PMCC. This is basically just me speculating, but that's okay. That's kind of the position I want. I think Duolingo is going to continue rising. So I have to make a choice now. Do I just let this ride at the end of the day and then come back on Monday, try to enter a position I want, or do I just close the position? So I'll come back in around 3:30 and then see what happens. It's about noon and I've decided it's time to make a change. I can't sit here anymore just watching SPY and Google move around. So now is the time to just close my position. I'm going to take a $48 loss on the call. So I sold an at the money covered call. It's now pretty deep in the money. I'm going to close this one out now with the $40 loss on the short call specifically. I'll give somebody $236 and we'll wrap this up. Now my SPY shares have also gone up comparatively. So we're going to close this one out now, and it's going to be about a $218 gain. So in total, I'm going to wind up with, I don't know what I just said, $170 gain on this covered call specifically. Add what I made on the other covered calls and it'll be, another couple $100. The position I really want to get into now is Duolingo. It's starting to show some real life here. I think we bottomed in around the 140s level. So I have the option to just buy leaps. But the problem is that the bid ask is so wide on these things. It seems like no matter what strike and what expiration I choose, the bid ask is like at least $200 apart. It doesn't really make sense to enter a position like this when I'm not even getting that steep of a discount on the deltas anyway. So instead of even entering with options, I'm just going to buy shares. Shares are just like calls that never expire. So I'll have this one for as long as I want to keep it. I'm going to keep it simple, buy 100 shares now. So that'll cost me about $16,000 in buying power and leave me with $53,000 left. Now I'm going to pick up some shares of Booz Allen Hamilton. Again, keeping things simple, I'm going to buy 100 straight shares. Now even after that purchase of Booz Allen Hamilton and Duolingo, I'm still going to be left with over $40,000 left. Find out next week how I deploy it. This is usually the part where I give some long explanation of everything that happened in this episode, but this video is already 17 minutes long and I'm getting pretty bored. So just suffice it to say that I made about $70 I think on Google covered calls and then a few hundred on the SPY covered calls. But at the end of the episode, I sold SPY to buy Duolingo and Booz Allen Hamilton. I've got $43,000 left in cash I got to decide what to do with. So next week I'll put the rest of that money to work and it should be a much shorter episode because this took way too long. Check me out on Discord or Twitter. It's @KamikazeCash. I'll see you guys in the next episode.